This presentation is in partial fulfillment of my course requirements for Creativity 503. Um, in this presentation, we will briefly review some best practices and key steps for the initiation of a creativity initiative within an organization. We'll just take a moment to review our agenda for this presentation. We'll discuss what creativity is and why it's important. We'll discuss the role of leaders in a creative initiative. We'll discuss effective communication practices. We'll discuss the creative workplace environment, and then we will conclude. And we're going to start with what is creativity and why is it important? We're not talking about creativity for the sake of creativity's sake. We're talking about creativity that leads somewhere. There's a lot of undirected creative potential out there that never leads to any tangible or useful output, and that won't work within an organization. So when we say creativity, we're referring to organizational creativity. We're referring to creativity that is directed and constructive towards a goal. The definition of creativity is the state or quality of being creative, the ability to transcend traditional ideas and create meaningful new ideas. The purpose of introducing creativity into an organization is to spark innovation. Creativity initiatives intend to tap into that creative potential and direct it into a creative output that is useful within that organization. So when we say innovation, we mean the introduction of something new, a new idea, a new method, a new device, a new process, a new improvement, the streamlining of a process. All of these things are helpful within an organization. Introducing creativity within an organizational culture is a form of committing to a strategy of innovation. Innovation and technology is a huge creator of economic value and driver of competitive advantage. Some important innovations in successful firms have very little to do with technology. Many companies are now mastering the art of business model innovation. Some of these companies include Netflix, Amazon, and Uber. Now we've discussed what creativity is and we've discussed why it's important. So now, how do you begin a creativity initiative within your organization? We've all seen creativity initiatives start and then stall out. So what best practices can be used to help ensure that your initiative flourishes? Supervisors, managers, and executive leadership. Have you ever heard the saying, teamwork makes the dream work? This is that saying in action. Creativity initiatives require the support of management to really flourish. Management personnel require training in proper coaching practices, support practices, transformational leadership. Managers need to be able to communicate a direction and a vision to employees. This will ensure that employees focus creative efforts into the desired direction. Managers would want to focus on constant communication of direction, and they want to provide that direction without micromanagement. This allows employees to feel comfortable in trying different solutions and bringing creative ideas to the table. But during these types of initiatives, management must be sure to ensure that politics do not come into play during the creative suggestion process. If suggestions will be evaluated by other employees, then it's a great idea to remove the submitter's name from the suggestion. We want employees to evaluate suggestions based on the merit of the suggestion alone. We want the best idea for the organization to be produced, and that suggestion could come from anyone. That's what creativity is really about. And we have to keep in mind that creative managers do not always provide ideas. Many times they serve as idea agents, and that would be a person who facilitates the growth of ideas in others. An idea agent is a generalist and specialist. They have an all around knowledge of issues and potential end results, but they have specific knowledge of methods and group processes. You may hear them referred to at times as a jack of all trades, master of none. An idea agent is a coordinator. They channel between employees and executive management. They help facilitate the procurement of necessary resources, funding, and personnel. An idea agent is an impartial observer. They take an impartial, objective view of different end products, but focus the process along the right path to the right and desired output. Creative managers know that what worked well in the past will not work in the future. They are always driving employees forward toward change, toward innovation. They know that individualized knowledge silos will not help organizations remain competitive in the future. They create diverse teams to receive a wide variety of input. They invite people and teams to meetings that are from different business areas to create creative tension or gain insight into what would be otherwise missed. Creative managers inspire, they motivate. Creative managers support the creativity of their employees with resources and positive encouragement. These managers focus on providing an environment where creativity can flourish and true innovation can occur. Creative managers are always looking for new ideas, new suggestions. They're open to change. They encourage employees to be open to change and growth. In beginning a creativity initiative within an organization, communication is critical. Improved communication practices really facilitate the growth of creativity. Communication allows employees to understand their role within the organization. It allows them to understand what part their role plays in overall organizational success. Communication provides employees with an understanding of the direction their contribution should take, and it allows them to understand where to get information, where to get resources, and most importantly, communication encourages trust. And trust is very important in a creativity initiative. You need a strong foundation of communication and trust so that employees feel comfortable bringing creative suggestions to the table. In corporate creativity, communication is also used to communicate priorities. Um, in a creativity initiative, it's imperative that people help each other, that they work together. That message has to be communicated to all levels. It has to be communicated verbally and by action. Creative managers show that it's a priority to help others because you will see them, in fact, help others. Um, Creative managers know that creativity does not flourish by itself, it needs the assistance of others to grow. So they communicate that message in their day to day activities. In creativity, it can take a wide variety of sources to solve a problem. So, creative managers will facilitate as much communication as possible. And one of the ways they do this is interaction. This allows for communication across all channels. They will find ways for employees to meet and interact with other employees, teams, and business areas. This allows for future paths that employees can use to generate creative solutions. It allows for more content, for more varied creative responses to a problem. In beginning this creativity initiative, we definitely have to make some changes within the organizational environment. These changes will help sustain creativity, not just in the present, but in the future. We're going to spend some time here because this subject is extremely important. Squelching. I'll give you an example. So you have a creative idea. Maybe you're a little newer in your role. So you present your idea. Congratulations to you. That takes a lot of courage. So you present the idea, and one of the experts in your business area says, that won't work. Squelching stops creativity directly in its tracks. It does not go forward from there. So we need to stop squelching. And now that I've presented you with the situation, let's go back and look at it a little differently. So you presented the idea, and immediately someone said the idea wouldn't work. So you moved on. They know what they're doing. They're an expert in the field, and you'll live again to present a different idea another day. But when I'm sure we've all been in this situation. When you really look back at it, that person did not have time to genuinely evaluate that idea. And that is because many times when someone becomes an expert in a certain field, they become committed to a standard way of doing things. They don't even consider alternative approaches. So when you hear things like, that won't work, that's how we've always done it. Let's not reinvent the wheel. It's been the same for 10 years. It's been the same since I worked here. These are not actual responses as to why an idea will not work. So organizations, managers, employees, everyone in an organization has to work together to make sure that we stop squelching. And if you're on the opposite side of squelching and you've been squelched, learn to ask clarifying questions. When you say it won't work, what do you mean? Which part? Maybe we could work together and change it. That gives the other person time to actually consider what you're saying, and the idea may have value, or parts of it may have value they didn't consider with that automatic response. One of the best ways to introduce creativity into an organizational environment is in increments. You can sow the seeds and watch them grow. Continual investment in new ideas, following up on creativity initiatives to make sure they're working, and measuring the results. Creativity and change can be pushed through in a series of experiences, and this allows change to grow within the organization and the organization's culture. Slowly with time, you'll see the culture change to a culture that supports creativity. Unfortunately, many organizations don't always see that creativity and change are necessary in their organization before a crisis hits, or before it's too late. You have to expect a certain level of resistance to change. You may have an organizational culture that is not committed to looking for alternatives. Employees may be resistant, and you're going to have to address all those issues to fully bring your creativity and innovation campaign and change to fruition. So, one of my favorite books is Switch: How to Change When Change is Hard. And there's a section in there where they talk about injury prevention experts and how they use a Haddon matrix. It's a simple framework that focuses on accidents by 3 key periods of time: pre event, the event, and post event. And when you're bringing a change initiative into your organization, we're going to use all of the areas that we covered, such as communication, managers, supervisors, leaders, the environment. We're going to use all of those things to describe pre event. This is what our organization looked like in these areas before the event. These are the initiatives that we are bringing to the table. And post event, this is where we want to go. And all of these things together will allow employees to have a clear vision of where you want them to go as far as creativity and innovation are concerned. And then you can step back and let them flourish and take the wheel and start bringing their ideas, initiatives, and changes to the table, because it's really about sustainability. Creativity and innovation are becoming one of the number one indicators of sustainability for an organization. So, absolutely, we want to encourage those behaviors. And we've reached the conclusion of this presentation. I want to take a moment to thank you for taking the time to watch and listen to my presentation. My contact information is below, and you can reach out to me if you need any more additional information, resources. There's a survey link below. Please take time to fill out a survey. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what I can improve. Feedback is always critical. And there's also a comment section. So leave a comment. Let me know you were here. And as we always say in my house, make it a great day.